Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to show you how to make a reusable reviews post type and template that we can customize and change up in GreenShift and WordPress. Okay, so a couple of things before we start. Make sure you have GreenShift installed and you have SCF installed. Now, let's start off with SCF and let's make a new post type and let's just call it reviews. Okay, singular label, review, and then just save it as that. And then we're going to have a brand new post type over here called reviews. And then we can make field groups and so on and so forth. So once we have our reviews post type, we want to go over to appearance and then click on editor. And then from here, we can make our review template. So the idea here is that every time we want to make a new review, we'll just add new review, or basically create a new post, and we'll fill in the blanks using SCF later on. And we're going to use the GreenShift template area so that each time we make a new review, we just have to fill in the blanks and it'll display according to how we design it on over here. Okay, so this is our home page. Let's head over down to templates. And let's click on Add Template. And let's make it custom template. And we'll call this Reviews. And now we can get started. So it's going to prompt us if we want to use a pattern, but let's just start from scratch. First and foremost, let's go ahead and add in a header, I suppose. And this is something that we already made earlier on. Okay, just so that we can keep our navigation up. Next, let's go ahead and start off with our first section, which is the hero section. So the first thing that you're going to see once you click on a review. So here's our section. Let's add in 2 columns, and let's pop in an image here, media library, and we'll just use our placeholder image here, and we'll show you how to fill this in later on. And before you continue any further, make sure that you have the query add-on so we can enable dynamic values. If you don't have that, make sure you install it. And let's continue here. Next, we want to put in advanced heading. Okay, we'll make this heading tag 1. And let's name this as a placeholder text, which is going to be product title. And for this, we're going to use the okay, and we can change up the formatting of this however we want. Next, we want to put some stars here. So in GreenShift, the block we use for that is this progress bar. So you can have it between any value you want. You can have it as a rating circle if that's how you roll, or you can have it as stars. So for instance, let's have it 4.7 out of 5, and then you can see how that looks like. And then let's go ahead and change our star color, and that's looking great. And then we can also add the dynamic value from this later on so that we just have to put in our rating and then it's going to adjust automatically. Next, let's put in some text over here and we'll just keep it as that. And then later on, we're going to use the post, and we're going to use the excerpt for our short verdict. Okay, and then the last thing that we're going to add onto here is a button. And one cool little SEO tip for you is, well, we can change the URL to a dynamic URL. But let's go ahead and put this as an affiliate link. So one cool thing that you can put here is, rather than buy now, you can type in because some affiliate links work just by click through, not just buy rate. So even if your reader or visitor or viewer doesn't actually buy the product, if they click on the link, you might get some kickback from that. So this is a cool way to like social engineer them, to optimize it so that they're not being blasted with a buy now button. They can just check the price, and then that's a great way of generating a lead right there. And then we have some presets over here. Let's go ahead and choose this one, and that's looking good. And then over here under columns, we can change how everything here is ordered, and then we can align everything based on our own preferences. Okay. So let's go ahead and add in a background color to this just so we can distinguish it from everything else. Okay, there's our first section. Let's move on to our next section, which is going to be the body text. So all this is going to be is post body. So whatever we type in for our review is going to be over here. And then we can also, let's put in here, water editor things. And this is going to be static image, static text. We could have this heading 2. We'll leave it as that. And post body. So we'll enable the dynamic text value on this later, and then this will grab the text from that. So let's go ahead and add in some color to this one. Background. Okay. And then we'll make it a bit lighter, and that should be easy to read. Okay. So there's that section done. Let's add in our next section, and then this next section is going to be okay, let's move this down. This next section is going to be our pros and cons. So again, we can add some static text over here. And then let's add in some columns, a couple of them here. And then we'll put in a heading here and a heading here. And then we can also add some icons to the tops of these. So this one will be check, and then this one will be an X. And then let's change the color to make it brighter green, and then this one can be red. Okay, and then let's type in here pros, cons, and we can add in a list over here, but let's use a meta getter for here and for here, and we'll show you how to use these later on, how to input your pros and cons in a manner that's listed and easy to read. So with this, let's add in another color, a background color, just to set it apart. Okay, and you can see that our review site template is coming together, right? Once you log in, this is how it's gonna come up. You have your image, you have your rating, you can check the price, and then if they want further information, they can read the article and they can take a look at the pros and cons. And let's add in our next section over here. It's going to be a simple one. Oops. Let's trash that. Oh, dear. Okay, it's a good thing we have this one. And let's just drag and drop that over here. And let's put in a heading. And we'll just call this one okay, and then we can figure out how to add in this later, deciding whether or not we want to use a meta getter also, but we could definitely do that. Meta getter, and just drag and drop that over here. And Let's give this one a background color, blue maybe. Okay. And then last but not least, let's add in our footer. Oops. Our footer, and then we'll just plop that down here. Okay. So let's save this, and we can view the site, and nothing's gonna pop up because this technically doesn't exist yet. So let's head over back to our dashboard, run down over to SCF, and then under post types, we have our reviews over here. And, this is all good. Now we can make a new field group, and we're going to call this review fields. And then for the first one, let's go ahead and go with a number. And we're going to call this star rating. Star rating, okay. And post type is equal to review. And let's add a new field. And we're going to call this one affiliate link. Okay, we'll add a new field. We're going to call this what you see is what you get. Pros, add a new one. What you see is what you get. Cons, and then add a new one, and we're going to call this one, another what you see is what you get. We're going to call this one specs. Okay, add field. Okay, I'll close this one, and oops, we'll delete that, remove, and then we can double check what we have here. And if we need to add anything else, if we missed anything, we can go back simply over here and then add that back in. So let's save the changes here. And let's start off by making a new review. So if you go here, we don't have any, well, we have this one that we tested out earlier, but let's add a new review. And you can see we can add a title. So we can, this is where we can add in our product name. So okay, and then over here we can use, we can click on our template, and we can change our template, and then we can use reviews over here, and it should pop up later on when we make our review live. We can add in our text here, which is going to be just the body. We can set the featured image, right, to be the cell phone image right there we have. Let's go ahead and schedule and publish this. And okay, so star rating, we'll give it 4 out of 5. The affiliate link, we can just have that as our website here, just to format it that way. Paragraph, 1, 2, 3, pros, good battery. You can have it text like that. Good battery. Cons, we can just add that on here. Heavy. Oops. Okay, and then over here we have our technical specifications, and then we can, or we can probably just go with that. So what were the battery life? Oops, that was the wrong punctuation for that. Battery life. Um, oops. And then the cons. Weight. Well, no, the picture's gray, isn't it? Um, okay, so we can save this. And one thing that we forgot was that we don't have an excerpt area. So let's go ahead and head back over to SCF and then add in a field for the excerpt. So we have our review field. So let's edit that. And then let's add in a new field called text area. And then we'll call this verdict. And then we can bump this up over here. Okay, save changes, save. And then let's reload this. And verdict. Save that. And if we went to view this on the live site, nothing shows up just yet. So let's head over back here and let's change this up. So let's review this. Let's head over back to the dashboard. And again, if you don't have the query add-on, go on GreenShift, add-ons, and it'll be over here. Make sure you buy the license and you pay for it. If it doesn't say install, if it's not installed, it's not going to say install. All you have to do is click on install and just refresh everything, and then you'll be able to enable dynamic image value. As you can see, we have it right here. So dynamic image value, we'll just set it as our current or latest, but you gotta set up a default image value, review, okay? And there you go. So this is the current or the latest one. So whatever you choose, it's going to change to that. Over here, dynamic text value, post data, current, latest, post type, title, save that. And then once we reload this, it should change automatically. And over here, we have dynamic image value, dynamic text value over here. We'll set it to review, and we can select a custom field. So the star rating, there you go, 4, it's changed automatically. Short verdict over here, repeater, or maybe better if we used a meta getter for this instead. Meta getter, drag and drop that over here. And then this one we can just delete. And for here, custom field, review, and then we can just click over here and then verdict. There you go. And then for here, dynamic field, review, custom field, and then we can put in our affiliate link over here. And there you go. It automatically changed for us. And then for here, for this one, dynamic text, post data, current, review, content without formatting, or we can format the content from there. So we'll leave that as that. Or, select post type. And then we can save this just to double check. that everything changes. There you go. And then there's our text. We can also add images and whatnot over here. For this one, we have to put in the title, which is oh, my bad. Enable dynamic URL, custom meta, and then review and affiliate link over here. That'll change the URL over there. Excuse me. Save. And once we reload this, it should change back to that. And we clicked on this, it's going to take us to our homepage. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Now over here, let's go ahead and use a repeat or custom field review. And just type in pros. And then over here, the same thing, review, get field, cons. And then for our technical specifications, the same thing. We've made that, review, technical specifications. There you go. And then you can format this if you wanted, right? You can align this to the center. We can make it all caps or not. We can change the font color, font size, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that. And let's take a look at how this looks like on our live site. Okay, and it'll dynamically change. And if we made another one, it would be basically the same thing. So every time that you create a new review, let's go over here. Every time we create a new review, just click on Add Review, and we just have to fill in the blanks. So max, and then we can add in some text over here. We can set the featured image to be something else, right? Basically the same thing. We have our template, we'll just change the template to this, and it really won't display. Star rating 3.7, verdict. And our affiliate link will be the same thing. So we'll just copy paste that. ABC, E, F, G. And over here, the same thing, A, B, C, E, F, G. And that should be great. So let's schedule and post this. And once we view this on the live site, you'll see that it automatically updates, and it's not exactly the same thing as this other review, right? So let's scroll down here, and you can see they're completely different. And over here, and it adjusts automatically depending on what you put in the reviews. So that's a great way to keep your site maintained. We have other videos on making the templates and stuff for the archives. So if you clicked on here, we can have a special archive just for reviews, and we can have a different archive for guides, right? Because you want to be able to organize this information clearly. And as a bonus, we'll show you one last cool thing. So let's close these post areas up, and let's add in a really cool mobile only section. So let's drag and drop that over here. Let's put this here, and then let's put a background on this to make it stand out. We already have orange, we already have purple. Let's make it bright yellow. There we go. And what we want to do over here is a couple of things. We'll put on a 2 columns. And then over here, let's put in advanced. And then here we can have this as heading 3 if you wanted. Dynamic text value, post data, current latest title. And then we can center this up if we wanted to, but we'll leave it as that. And then over here, let's duplicate this and then drag and drop that over here to this column. Okay, so make sure you select this section over here, this whole yellow area, and then under advanced, let's go ahead and visibility settings, we'll activate that and click on mobile view. So it means that it'll only be available to the mobile view. And then for position, I think it's fixed, 0, 0, 0. Okay, and it's gonna stay like that on the bottom of our view right there. And it won't always look like this, so make sure you double check it on your front end. So let's go ahead and save this and then reload this on our site. And then you can see that it doesn't appear. So if we went into our mobile view over here, right, it's not going to appear unless we reload this. And you can see we now have this on the bottom of our screen on mobile view. And, we can go ahead and make this a bit smaller. We can squish this down. We can change the height and whatever, inline content, flex, whatever. Save that, see how that looks like over here. Okay, we know the difference, but you get the idea. If we're viewing this on our mobile device, this is going to be basically a sticky footer, separate from our footer, that when we're scrolling down, we can read the article on our phone. You can check the price on Amazon over here. And at any time, your visitor, reader, whoever, can always just go ahead and check the price and click on here, because I'm not sure about you guys, but most of my online transactions or what, I do it through my phone because my banking apps are on there, and not many people actually do their transactions through the computer. So you can have that as that, but then when you view it on your desktop site, it won't be in the way, so it's a bit easier to read. So there you have it, your custom review template to make your review stand out and get those SEO points by utilizing the headers and the different GreenShift blocks. And it's really easy to customize because we've made our custom fields and custom review post type in SCF. So we're merging SCF and GreenShift together to make the experience very easy for you. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, as it really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. Show this kind of video to other nerds like us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, if you found this video helpful, be sure to check out one of our other videos, or go ahead and check out our channel and subscribe to see more content like this.